Sounds crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and the sound plus being it super misty, it was quite an experience, honestly, today at the mountain.
That's great. Yeah, it's always more special when there's a misty background up there.
I mean, those buildings with the mist, it looks like the enemy's main headquarters. It has that vibe. It's great. Okay.
Okay, so this is all of us who are here now, so we could just like begin in a way that maybe you wanna like take us through your approach to how you produce, how you use your field recordings, and has it always been like that for you? Has this been your initial approach from like day one when you started releasing music?
Okay. So, because for many years I didn't believe I could live off music, I worked as a sound assistant in films since I was like 16 till my late 20s. There, like, I actually got interested in microphones and recording and thinking about sound in a different way, you know, different than music. So, but I hated it, so it didn't make me happy, you know, like working there. So what I could like extract from that experience, it was the recording techniques, you know, how to use microphone, what microphones to use, what recorders to use, all of that. I used all of that in my music. So from an early stage in my music production, I was recording stuff, you know. But I was mixing it with like other people's samples, you know, movie samples and stuff like that. It wasn't after this track that I'm gonna show you now that I decided to constrict myself to just sound side recording. Okay, so yeah, this was the first track that I 90% used my sounds. It was made, it's called agua y puerta, which means water and door, and it's made up of water sounds and door sounds. It's pretty literal. And then there's like an engine also sound. All of those sounds are like the lead sounds of the track. Then there's like a kick and a hi-hat that is not something I recorded, but like it's the first track that like all of the significant sounds came out of my record. I'm gonna play like 30 seconds, okay?
You said that you were introduced to different mics when you were recording.
Yeah.
So do you have some like mics that you prefer, or it depends on the situation, or?
Okay, like right now, this is the only thing I have here. Because I was born and raised in Uruguay, South America, and now I moved to Barcelona, and I didn't have the means or the space to bring what I had back home, which is pretty basic though, but like I have a sound devices recorder, like a 6-channel that is mainly for cinema, and then I have like a couple of microphones. The one I used the most was a Sennheiser called 416 that is used mainly in like film productions.
Like mic or?
Yeah, it's like a really long, super directional microphone. When the sound is on axis, it gives you like a super detailed recording, and it's really good at like, you know, canceling, if you want, sounds that are not on axis. This is the first time I do this in English, so bear with me.
Right.
So but this is everything I need, to be honest. Like,
What's that?
this is like a handheld recorder. It's called PCM D100. It's out of. They're not making this anymore. It's made by Sony. It's a pretty basic handheld recorder. Like there's new recorders that offer way more stuff than this one. But like the sound of this one is really good. The limiters are really good. It's not that noisy in comparison to other recorders. And I have this, like I bought this in 2016 and it's still here. Every time it was raining today and she did well, and it's like, you always deliver. It's amazing. But yeah, I'm using this mainly, and then, I guess it's cool to just try to constrict yourself to one thing or two things, not make it too complicated, but that's the way you can actually learn the inside out of these machines and what they can do, and what they can't do, what the problems, what are their, advantages and stuff. I was thinking that I might want to get another one, but like a way more cheap one, to have like a different angle of the situation you're recording. I might do that anytime soon once I get money. So yeah, I'll show you this track, which is pretty simple. It's almost childish the way that it is so simple, but I don't know, like I was happy with the result, especially because it was something I created from scratch. So that's when I decided to do this more. And after this is like almost 10 years old. And now, like last year, I released a full album that is an album that's like made out of field recordings. It's like 7 tracks like this, a bit more complex in the sense that like it does have way more recordings than this. This is just like 3 or 4 or 5 different recordings. We could talk about the album later. But then I wanted to show you where these sounds come from, so you can understand what where I come from, what I'm doing. So this is like a 10-year-old video. It's shitty quality, but like, so there was not bad. So I was working in a documentary recording sound, right? So we were supposed to catch like some images of the Uruguay River, and it was flooded. So we had to walk like for meters and meters with our, feet up to here with water, and then while we were walking, I just decided, because I had the microphone and the recorder, so I just decided to record that, and then there they were installing the camera, producing the, yeah, just shitty video, but like this is the actual sound, so there's no lag here. And then the door sound, I was recording sound for like a horror short film. And then I had like, I put some microphones to the actors, right? And then I was recording sound with my microphone. And then someone was supposed to break the door, but it didn't, they didn't manage to break it in the first try, and they did it several times, so they gave me like super amazing one-shots. And I was like, while I was recording that, I was like, I'm gonna use this for some of my music, you know? That's what I was thinking every time while making film, while recording shitty sounds for films. It's like, yeah, that was the only way I could have fun, honestly. I'm showing you this so you can understand where you know where did I learn my techniques and where does this come from. I mean, it's really rooted in cinema, like. Whoa! I mean,
what a thing.
And that sound is not the original sound. They took the sound out. I just wanted to show you this amazing piece of Uruguayan piece of art. And then there was this, not the music, but like this was the car that I recorded the engine that I used on the track. So now if you go to the track, I can show you what did I do with those sounds, okay? Just like kind of fast. So the water, this is the recording, this is the original recording of the water. I need to turn this up because I can't tell you how many hours I listen to this. I know it by heart. It's so.
How is the mic positioned? It's straight.
I had, so you saw the video, right? I had the Force 16, which is like this long mic, and then I was walking like this. So I was doing this, just to really close to the source. I could say that like that's my style of recording. I love putting the microphone as close as I can, so I can have like a lot of detail and like, so it feels like a magnifying glass, you know? You're actually making small things bigger. And then another thing I try to do is just like to move the microphone, not be still, you know? Actually give it some movement so you can perform with the microphone and give it life, you know? It is the same thing you would do with a filter or with some EQing on your track when you know, when you move that like line to make it.
Do you have a problem with the wind?
I do have this. This is a nightmare. This is the downside of this recorder. I still haven't. I have.
Yeah.
I didn't bring that, but I have this furry thing. I also tried with. I don't know how socks.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah, still haven't. This is. I just bought this thing that I'll get it next week and I'll tell you if that works. That's kind of complicated. With this, specifically with this microphones that are kind of sensitive. So what I did with this recording you just heard, it was pretty easy. I just chopped it. So I just decided with which one shots or which, hits I would cut, and then I cut them, and then I imported that. Do you guys use Ableton?
Mhm.
Are you all
Yeah.
more than beginners?
Familiar.
We are beginners.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Ableton has this instrument that is called drum rack, right? So you can have, it's this one. So you can import, so there's like 128 slots here, and you can import, to each slot you can import the sound you want, right? So what I did was chop this water sound and then like put them on different pads or slots in drum rack, and then play that with. Now I can do that with the keyboard here. Now, can I?
Trigger the samples with the keyboard.
Yes.
Yeah. You
Okay.
just have to get the octave.
Get the octave right.
But there's some reason to put a keypad. What's the
Oh, I guess it's this.
No. Oh.
No, you keybind. There's like a keybind that you're turning on with that shortcut. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know where it is. I could delete all of this. Yeah, it's that. Oh, it's not happening. Anyways, don't worry. It's not important. I mean, so I chop these sounds and then I place them here, and then with a pad, like some pads, like Ableton Push or whatever, a keyboard. Not this one, because this one doesn't work. I did like a rhythm, right? This rhythm. As simple as that. That one you hear like boop boop boop. That was the only thing I kind of changed. I reversed that. I reversed that sound. Is this a piece of this sound reversed? Okay. And then for the door, I chose the door sounds, and then I started to process it. So this is the original door sound. Okay. Why is it so low? Oh. Yeah. Let's go over here. Better. So, this is the raw sound, right? One of the raw sounds. What I normally do is like, I start to process, once I get the recorded sound, I start to process it, like to add more weight, more brilliance, more whatever the sound needs. You know, to make it feel like larger than life, or, I mean, sounds, the way you record them are often dull, you know? Not the water I guess it was interesting from the start, but this door sound had problems. It kind of sounded dull. So what I did, I like made, so it goes from here to here, you know? So what I did, this is fairly simple, like this is the original one, which kind of has bass, but then I did another layer that I kind of took the bass out but accentuated some the high end, and then I added to a third layer. I added some flanger that like actually makes the bass thicker, right? And it also feels kind of distorted. And it's really limited if you see that here, which is not the coolest thing sometimes, because when you squeeze a sound, it loses its first impact, if it has any. You know, the first impact is important to create the notion of like a hit, to have some power. Like cool drums, good drums, you'll see like the waveform of a cool drum always has like a big impact in the first, say, 20 milliseconds, you know? And this one that don't have that, but like I'm adding it up to the original layer that already has like a spike in the beginning, you know? Like this. And then I love the fact that like, do you listen to the tail? Like that thing wasn't existing before the flanger. You know? You can actually hear a motorbike in the... Anyways. And then I had the motor, the engine, which is in the chorus, that is here. Easy. I'll show you the original one. From this. From this to this, right? Alright, that's basically how I work. I'm gonna open up a session, a newer one, because this is kind of old. Because I wanna go more in detail about like how I process things, and because I found my way of working, which it could be like simple to some, but it was kind of hard to actually distinguish all the parts in my practice. And when I had this clear, I think I'm actually making better projects. Because like, okay, so firstly, I record, right? Like, I go to places I'm interested in, or say, I'm here, and then I go to the woods and record some stuff. That's the first part of the process, right? Which has its own world. You need to know about like field recording techniques, microphone techniques. You don't need to know about this, but you can actually try to learn some, you know? And then there's like the manipulation stage, which is actually hearing the sounds, deciding what sounds you're gonna keep, and then like actually editing the sounds. I can show you more about that later. And then like sound designing. That's the part of the that's the manipulate sound part, you know? Sculpt sounds part. And in order to do that, you have to use a lot of plugins, you know, to actually, like enrich your original sounds. And then with those sounds, you make music, you know, and you either like compose music or you perform it, or it's a mix of both. But that's like the last stage, you know.
So for you, the sound design stage comes before the putting everything together?
Mostly, yeah. I mean, what I'm saying, I'm not saying that I don't sound design well when I'm composing. I'm just saying that like there's a stage where I actually listen to my sounds and try to create like new sounds out of that. And then, you know, I have like this library of sounds I created that can actually be used for music later, you know? I can show you that if you want to, my folders and stuff like that. So this is a bit more complex track that has more layers and more channels. So I used, is there videos of this?
Can we ask about the time machine?
Yeah. Okay, what about it? What's up? I use it the way everyone else uses it. There's no mystery.
The way we use our time machine.
Oh,
My time machine is like a backup thing.
yeah. So I use that sound, which is a volcanic rock sound. It's crazy because like volcanic rocks are kind of empty inside, so it gives you a really different, more notey. I mean, you can actually hear more notes than, you know, super dense stones. So I use one of those loops for this track. Different loops actually. Throughout the track, you can see that they're named, right? There's loop 2, loop 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4. They're all different.
Do you try to get the timing exactly right when you drum, or do you like quantize the sounds, or?
I didn't quantize this, did I? I didn't. You can tell. You can tell it's not quantized. I mean, part of, because then other thing I like to do is try to bang on stuff. Not only just like record one shot, just, you know, but I also try to make percussion when in places like that. So to build tracks, I actually try to respect the groove I created when I recorded the first, you know, and then all of the instruments that come after that are trying to dialogue with that groove, not interfere with that groove, you know. Even if I have to create like a MIDI channel, a MIDI instrument, I try to put the notes close to where the original sample is, you know, the original loop, you know. So I guess that's one of the things that gives my record a distinctive rhythmic feeling because I was trying to respect what I did, you know, what I did live. I mean, I guess you can actually do that if you know rhythms well. Like if you know certain rhythm language well, you can actually write it on MIDI because you know where the accents are or which are the notes that like don't go on the grid that much, you know. But like
you have a background as a percussionist, right?
I mean, I don't consider myself a percussionist, but I am curious though, and I spend like I do spend hours like listening and watching people that play drums, and I also am part of a group that's called F5 that is from Uruguay, and I spend a lot of hours with this percussionist from Uruguay, from Afro heritage, called Candombe, which is our music, Uruguayan music, and this guy's taught me a lot actually. Not through. It's not like they taught me how to play, but like actually from listening to the way they play and what they do, I learned a lot. So yeah. But then for this track, the Stones one, I did different processes, and I can show you that quickly if you want. You can tell there's a difference there, right? Okay. Let's go. So this was done with this plugin, which is Sound Toys. I recommend Sound Toys to everyone. It's amazing. I'm not a Sound Toy seller, but like they're really cool plugins. This is like a granular. It's called granular echo synthesizer. It's like a granular delay. So when it actually granular, for those who don't know, it actually takes bits, grains, pieces of the sound and like reorders it, you know, to give it like a different. Yeah, there's so many things you can do with that. And the splice knob here tells you what's the size of that grain, you know? So it goes from this to this, okay? And then I repeated that process with different settings of the crystallizer to give it. Those are all of these things you've heard are different versions of the. Okay, that's one instrument there. Then there's this. I basically did the same thing I showed you with the water. This is our recording. Did I show you this original recording? No, they're all Well, it's out here somewhere. Anyways, it's just, is it here? No. Okay, yeah, it's actually like this garbage can in the streets in Azores, in Portugal. And I just, yeah, chopped that recording and did a drum rack and then played it on a pad. Some pads. There's no process here, just that's what I did. And then what I can also show you is the bass for the track. This comes from a frog sound.
What?
A frog sound? Frog? Yes. I mean, I did so many processes and iterations of this sound that I wouldn't know how to show you from the beginning till the end. But I can tell you is I used this instrument that's called granulator in Ableton. Everyone that has Ableton suit will have this, or you can download it for free, I guess. Not sure. Should we check it out?
I think you could.
I think it's part of Suite.
Okay.
Yeah, if you buy Ableton.
Yeah, I don't have it. Yeah. So I just put the frog sound there and then just started fiddling with parameters, and after some process I came out with this, which to me, now that I know a bit more, at least more than when I was doing this doesn't look so cool, even though it might sound okay. There's no attack here, if you see. I mean, for a bass, it's not that bad, but then it's alright. It's not that bad. And those things that you hear, I was layering like a different attack or for another sound, you know? It's wonky. It's kind of weird. But then it's mine, so fuck it. I mean, then there's this elevator sound. I recorded some like metal. You know these old elevators that have like this sliding doors like this. I can show you the original sound. I know where that is. This is here.
I'm curious about how, when you're processing the sounds, since those are mostly stereo recordings.
Yes.
What's your thought process about placing all the sounds in like a soundstage in space? How are you?
Yeah. I mean, I turn many sounds into mono.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're stereo because the recording is stereo, and then you can't actually record just one track. But that's the downside of just using this, because then you would need to get your sounds right in the stereo field every time. And sometimes when you're field recording, you're out there, you don't have it's not like you can tell a bird, wait, so I can put my microphone right. Like sometimes you need to do this fast, and then in the stereo field it might be weird where your sound is placed. So, and then if you try to alter the stereo field with like a plugin, and you like put the L channel a bit more up than the R channel, it kind of fucks up with the stereo image.
Yeah.
So it doesn't work that much. So when I have that problem, I actually turn many things into mono. It depends on the sound, of course. I try to follow this music rule that, like, you know, bass, kicks, voices, all kind of tend to go in the middle. At least a voice like the lead voice. There might be like choruses and, you know, different arrangements for the voice that like can be more stereo. But yeah, I try to do that. This is the original. This is like the. Yeah, so I turn that into this, I mean, then you can see, like, I group variations of the same sound within, Ableton group channel, you know? So you can see all of my stones are green and they're here. Green and blue. All of my frog bass sounds are here. There's different kind, you know, variations I created, and then the elevator sounds are here. So I did same thing I did with water here, but I also did some audio tracks. So it's like a mix of both, you know, to actually create your own instrument. Because that's what we're doing when, I guess, or at least me, you just need to use every tool you have in Ableton in order to get the sound you want. It's not going to be enough for you just to do this. Just to, you drag some sounds to the drum rack or drag some sounds to the sampler, or just use the audio on a channel like this. Sometimes you need to like mix everything for it to make it work, you know?
Can I just ask, like, in terms of the stereo fields, like he asked, I see that not, I don't know if I've seen a single track that's panned left or right. Is it because during the field recording there's already space within the samples? So
No, I do that, but apparently not on this track. Wait, can we check that? Here. there's one pan sound. Here, you'll see that here, I guess. Will you? No.
Well, I'm thinking you're thinking more in terms of like width than like left or right. Because
I do that too,
how
though.
close you are to the sound depends on
Yeah, I
how
guess
wide
it depends. And also I try to pan that, I try to pan this. What I do sometimes is just pan it on a utility instead of here. So I can, why do I do that? So I can automate the utility pan and then have this free if I want to put that in a different part of the stereo field, you know. Okay, so this is like the elevator sounds I showed you. That's it for the rhythm section, right?
So this kind of rhythm rhythm style is the style that you said is from Uruguay?
No, this is a mix of different things, I guess. It has more like a triplet 680 feel. Candombe is way more 4 to the floor, 4/4, sorry, not 4 to the floor. It's more like similar to some Cuban and Brazilian stuff. This is more, yeah, triplet feel, which is, I think of Mexican tribal, which is like some electronic Mexican music from 2010. Huaracha even, Huaracha Colombian stuff. Festejo, which is like a folkloric Peruvian thing. It's more like in that vein, if you want. Okay, so and then, yeah.
I'm interested in like how do you then, because you talk that you want to leave the rhythm that you recorded, like the main rhythm, and not, sorry, it's English also, not to change it, but then when we saw your bass, it is on the grid. So how do you decide on the BPM of the song then?
In the end, it's gotta sound right.
Yeah, I know.
That's the only rule, right?
But how do you?
Why do I say this? Because I don't know exactly. It's just, you know, like you can see here that like this MIDI pattern is not on the grid, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I can tell, so there's a guy that like told me that what he does is the drums he quantizes, but the percussion he doesn't. I always think about that, you know, when I'm making tracks, but I haven't found the reason. I don't think that's it. I don't know. What I'm saying is everyone has their own system, right? And it depends on where you want to go. I guess like if you want to give like this loose jazzy feeling, you actually need to not quantize shit, you know. So the bass here is probably quantized, but not. I wouldn't say it's that quantized. Honestly.
So everything.
Can you tell?
Then.
Yeah, I was with this track especially. I was trying to put everything beneath this. Stone roots. But I mean, this bass, there's moments in this bass where it's actually doing like root notes, like boom, boom, boom. So I would quantize that, you know. Why not? Like.
Yeah, because for me, when I want to do something more loosely, it's really hard with escaping the grid.
Yes.
So that's why I'm like, you just how do you decide on the BPM? So.
Yeah.
You're kind of there, but you're not, obviously, because you're all the time.
I mean, it is what I was saying earlier, like, you gotta know the rhythm, and I'm not saying this because I know this rhythm. What I'm saying is, you gotta know the rhythm if you wanna write it with your mouse, and not quantize it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If you wanna have like this live, loose feeling, you gotta play it with your hands. That's the only way, you know?
Yeah.
You either play it on an instrument and record that, or you either play it on a MIDI, you know, controller. That's the easiest way to get this, like this live feeling. And last, there's the lead sound, which is like a bird sound I recorded in Uruguay. That is there?
Is that a processed sound? Because it sounds very clean, like there's no background noises.
I probably did something, but not too much. Not the first one you heard, no. Maybe the ones that you're hearing now.
Because usually when I try to record birds, it's like, it's not one bird, it's 32 birds at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, you know, the cool thing about this bird is, So they're really protective of their kids. Yeah. And if you approach them, and I did this on purpose, if you approach them, they'll attack you. Like, really, like, they scream at your face here, and then, like, you know, they put their claws like this so they can hurt you. And I was like there with my microphone, like, so that's why they got so close, you know. Let's look for the original sound and see if it was that clean, if it was clean or not. That was here. Yeah. What? Oh, what? Sorry. My brain's not working that right.
Understandable.
There's so many things you can do with this sound, it's crazy. These are all the variations I did with this sound. I can't seem to find the original one.
Yeah, you were saying yesterday about how you make your own sample packs.
Yes.
So that's the process, I guess. You know, first you take like a recording, then you chop it up, process it, make like all these different variations of that, and then arrange that, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay.
I'll get there. That's me. I'm a Virgo. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I mean, I was right next to the beach, so I probably had to like clean up that sound a bit. But then from that to eight different variations of the same sound, right? The main one, what did I do? I just pitched that down. If you can tell there, I pitched it down. It's like a baby sound. I don't know. It's crazy. That's why I love like recording animals, because of course some birds and some frogs have this human quality, you know. So it seems it feels human-y, but it's not. You know, that's why I like them that much. That's like the first.
So that's mostly pitch shifting?
Yes. That's like the first 30 milliseconds of the sound. And then, well, that's pretty much what I can tell you about like the process as a whole, right?
Yeah.
We could, if you're interested in a specific part of what I do, you can ask me and we can go into details of. I guess I could show you the sample pack I just released. That I only did it with Uruguayan sounds, because this record is like a mix of everything I've recorded throughout my life, right? Everywhere. For this sample pack, I just used sounds I recorded on a 9-day field recording trip in Uruguay, in different like areas, natural areas specifically, protected areas. So it's mainly made out of like water sounds, like wood sounds, you know, bird sounds, like frog sounds, sea lion sounds. There's a lot of crazy shit I recorded, honestly. Like the sea lions recording is crazy. Where is that? This one. This is. That is heavily processed though, but it was really hard for me to record that. The picture doesn't represent how hard it was, because I had to go there by night, because in order for you to get closer to them, you need to do this by night, so there's no guards in there, because it's a protected area, right? But I did it like the proper. I was careful enough, you know. But I wanted to get the sound as close as I can. So I spent 2 nights, not the whole night, but like I spent a couple of hours of each night, the 2 nights I was there, just trying to see where I could put like the recorder as close as I could get. So I would hide myself like in between rocks. I don't know. It was kind of silly.
Proper guerrilla.
Yeah. It was kind of like that. I was playing that game, and then like this. They look menacing, but then they're so fucking slow. They're like, they're like, I'm gonna kill you. It takes them forever to get there. But you get scared, you know. You're by yourself there at night, and you don't see them. You just hear them. And that sound is fucking scary, you know. That's one thing when you're recording out there, especially at night, or in caves, or alone in the woods, you know, sometimes it gets scary, which is cool, but like, it's cool once you're done with it, you know. It's like, whoa, that was amazing. But then when you're doing it, it's like, I want to go home, you know, like, you get that feeling too.
So is there like a preconceived idea of the sounds that you actually want to like catch, or do you just like go into the field and try to catch as much as possible? Because I'm just like thinking, is there like a specific story that you know you will want to say when you make a track, and you think like, I need a fucking sea lion squeak in this track, so you go out there and record it?
I guess for something as specific as a sea lion, it can be difficult, you know. I recorded the sea lions because they were there. Yeah. And it's mainly, and I guess you gotta trust your ear in that sense. Why do you decide? That's the coolest part. Like, why do you decide to record the things you decide? What I can tell you is that if you don't think about it and you record a lot, you'll find similarities between the sounds you have, you know? And then you'll find your way as to how to mix them. Even though I'm still not 100% happy with the result of what I'm doing, but I'm doing it mostly because I like what I'm doing. Just, I know it'll get better, you know what I'm saying? I guess it's the same as when you DJ, when you dig for tracks. Like, you don't know why you like what you like, and then you download a lot of tracks, and then you find like similarities between those tracks. It's kind of similar, you know. Yeah, I guess. For example, today I decided to go to the woods because I'm actually working on a project that's like only log and wood sounds. So, but in the end, it's like what wood you're gonna record, why, and I guess what's important is to record a lot, you know, as much as you can when you're out there, because you never know what you're gonna feel when you listen to that after, and a sound might not work on its own, but it might work together with another sound, you know. Yeah, and then I did this sample pack out of all of these recordings. I can show you some other videos maybe. This is not the real. I had some beats recorded on this tree, but like I put my recorder inside of a bee nest of someone, and that's the actual. I didn't show that video because I wasn't supposed to do that. So. This is like a little demo I did with some of the songs. Those have like 4 or 5 different loops, right, from this sample pack, and they're all no bullshit. They're all like bird sounds, frog sounds, cricket sounds. I use mainly animals for harmonic content, and mainly like wood and water sounds for the drum content, right? Like, I don't know, weird shit like. This is like a bird. Another bird. Oh my god, that's so emo frog music.
Those beats were also mostly just pitch shifted, or
I mean, probably some like
Because it sounds very...
high-end exciters. Yeah, but like the main thing was pitch it down. And you can tell like the V sound is amazing. It's just like
Sick.
they have like this low frequency and then super high.
Is it word
Yes.
What is up with
or
like?
role-playing guessing game?
Yeah, that's the funniest part to me. That's like I could do this all day. Like, and what you know? So
I can't wait for the cat frog.
cat frog was so cat frog is
Cat frog, yeah.
cat frog.
That's also the granulator or crystallizer?
That's I actually grabbed the frog sound and then I think I pitched it up or down, but then changed
The algorithm.
the algorithm. You know, so you can do this in Ableton. Say, let's grab a frog sound here. Whatever frog sound I have here.
Subway's frog or?
Subway's frog. Yeah, let's grab this one. Let's grab this one and
Frog going to bed.
oh my god. So many tracks, so boring. I don't wanna make tracks like this anymore. I just
Which
wanna
track,
make
which
simple
track is
stuff.
this one, the one you opened?
It's called Tato 6. It's on the album. Wait. Here we go. So you can do this here and then warp it, right? And then change. I guess I did this, I'm not sure exactly, but I changed. Yes, it was kind of this thing. This is gonna give you different. Can you tell? I mean, there's so much stuff you can do with this. Of course, we should like. Okay, so I did that for this. But then the cool thing, I don't remember which frog sound is. What's the original frog sound of this? But it did have like a different harmonic content than this one, so that's why it sounds like a cymbal. Yeah, and then like using different parts of the same sound and then chopping that up and structuring like a melodic line or yeah. A line that makes sense. That's like bees. There's like the branches I showed you. This is like the sea lion. You wouldn't believe it, but it is. And that's the other thing, you know, everything can be everything in the end.
Music is all around you.
No, what I mean is like a sea lion sound that is like more like a lion or like a bassy sound can become like a shaker, you know? Yeah, I don't know what else to show you. You could, I don't know.
I don't know if anybody has any questions.
Yeah, I don't know. Would you guys want me to show you some of the, how I organize the field recordings?
Yeah, sure.
So I do this by ear or by trip. And then say, if it's different, if I spend more than one day there, I separate that on different days, and then I do like an audio folder of all of the recordings, right? A video folder of all of the pictures and like I recorded that for a friend because I always win on bowling, and he's like, and I was like, for you, this is for you, loser. And then I do like another folder that's, I call it cuts, which is where I put the sounds I already edited, right, from the originals. So I have everything on the same folder, you know, within the same day. And I also do this once I'm back home, like tonight. I'll probably, and this is, you would laugh at this, but this is important when you have like years and years of recordings, because otherwise you would lose them, you know, you wouldn't find them. All this time you spend like going to a place and recording something that's meaningful, if you can't find it, what's the meaning, you know? So I actually, yeah, listen to the whole thing like quickly, and I try to do that the same day because it's fresh in your mind. So I write a description of what the sound is like and what it, you know, what's inside the file. That way you can go back to that folder like 10 years after, and you'll still know what it is, you know. I also save some of the, yeah, here I have some of the sessions that I used for, yeah, for like chopping the sounds and like mixing them. I also use this RX software, that is an isotope software that is cool for like cleaning the sound. It has a nice spectrogram view like this. You can see this is time, that's frequency, and the color is like blue is silence, and like this yellow is the loudest part, right? The cool thing about this program, do you all know about this program?
I don't know.
Okay. The cool thing is you can actually edit the sound in a Photoshop-like way. You can actually, yeah, choose portions of time and frequency like this, and you know, I could cut this. Then you're gonna. Oop. Windy. Right? From I mean, this is really silly what I just did, but like you can, there's so many things you can do. Say you hear that you heard that like baby's voice there, right? The cool thing about this program is you can actually select a frequency and then tell it, so give me the second harmonic of the sound, and now give me the third one, and now the fourth one, the fifth, you know? So you can actually be more precise when you want to take out a sound, because, you know, sounds are made out of its harmonics, not just the fundamental. The fundamental would only be a sine wave, right? So you can actually take out a sound or like process a sound in a more precise way by doing this. Oh shit. So if I press all and then like I apply like gain reduction to this, like extreme like this, it's there still, but like if you compare it to the initial, I mean, I'm not doing it right. If we want to take this kid sound out, it's gonna be hard, but like we could try to spectral prepare it. There's a couple of cool things you can do here. You can spectral prepare the sound, which actually picks different parts of the same sound, like adjacent to the area you want to repair, and then like puts that like, you know, as a band-aid to mask the sound you want to take out. It also does denoising the classical way. You can tell them, you can press learn, so that way this plugin will like learn that what is noise and what is not noise, you know? So if I press learn, he just decided that this is noise, right? And it'll take that out from the whole recording. We're listening the wet. Bypass. Can you tell the difference? You can tell it in the bass. That's one thing you can do here. You can also deburr. I don't use this that much. There's a lot of things you can do here. Declick, decrackle. Of course you can EQ, you can actually insert like other plugins.
How much time did you spend working on your latest album?
Like a couple, maybe 2 years or 3, but like not in the album per se, but more in the sounds. Cause
yeah, I mean this whole process seems like you can really like get into it and spend eternity, you know,
yes.
nitpicking and creating.
Yeah, I mean I started this during the pandemic. Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Because that Agua y Puerta track, that was released like in 2018, and then I was like, okay, this is my next move. I'm gonna actually listen to all of my recordings and then make some more and try to make an album out of this. And then I spent like 2020, I spent like half of the year listening to my recordings, trying to make tracks out of that. And then 2021, I went to the Uruguayan field recording trip, the one I showed you. And with all of the recordings I had, plus the Uruguayan 9-day field recording trip, that's the material I used for the record. But yeah, I had to spend like more than a year listening to the whole thing and like chopping sounds and then actually learning how to use the software. That took me a lot of hours, you know, and trying to find a system that works for me, you know. all of that takes a lot of time. Yeah. Then, I mean, this is a good system. This works. Even though I couldn't find some stuff today, but that's because I'm tired. That's not the system's fault. But yeah, I mean, you do it per year and per trip, because that's related to your memory. You wouldn't forget when you went to Croatia for the first time, or when you went to, specifically if you're going to a place to record, you know. Like, I went to Puerto Rico just to do field recordings, and like, I mean, the whole trip was because of that, so I'm not, yeah, of course you're not gonna forget about that. Yeah.
Do you do live sets? Do you do live sets of your music?
Yes.
And how would you organize that? Like, for me it's always hard to imagine, like, it's not about just like triggering sounds, or like how much would you prepare in advance and what would actually be played live. Like, that's always what intrigues me. And
yeah, I guess that's the decision nowadays, right?
Yeah.
What's playback and what's live. Well, my live set is 4 CDJs, and I call it a live set because it's like my music, and I intervene on the CDJs as much as I can. And as the same way that like other people with computers or like hardware do decide what's live and what's not, same thing with me, you know. It's just some of my tracks I like separated on different stems, and then, you know, the drum part goes in this CDJ, and then like the synth part goes in that CDJ, and then there's a different version of the same track on another deck, and I just played with that the whole time. So,
But do you have 4 CDJs at home?
no, I wish. Who could?
House DJs.
Shit, that's a problem.
Yeah.
The thing is, like in Uruguay, I had the 2000s, like not the Nexus 2, the ones, the previous ones. I had like bought that with a friend, but then I came here, and now I'm like. Anyway, those CDJs are worthless to me now, honestly, because what you can do with 3000 with like 8 hot cues in a row is pretty big.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I just pay for this spaces, this like pirate studios, like studios in Barcelona or wherever I'm at, and that's a lot of money. That's stupid money. You don't want to spend that. But then,
how much is a session?
I mean, with 3 CDJs for 3 hours, it can be like 50 euros. You know, just 3 hours.
Yeah.
And then like, but you gotta find your way. You know, like I had some friends in Buenos Aires that had 3000, so I would spend like a month in their place, just like. I would pay for the food, and then they would give me the space to, you know, stuff like that. And now I don't have that anymore. So what I'm doing is I'm actually using Rekordbox more, and just like saving like keys, hotkeys here, as if they were hot cues. So I do that more in my home, and then when I go to rehearse.
You hot cue them to the keyboard, then you play in Rekordbox.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, that's the way I can do it now.
Yeah.
And then like when I go to rehearse, like I already kind of have what in mind what I want to do.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of. But then the downside is like you're limited because there's so many things you can do with the CDJs with the other buttons other than hotkeys, you know, like the knobs and all of those things. You don't have that in Rekordbox, you know?
Yeah.
So
Rekordbox doesn't have MIDI functionality.
they do, but now they only accept specific.
Their own, like.
Then they do that too. So you gotta spend like 200 euros for a controller just to be able to. It's so stupid. It's like doesn't make sense.
About the live set with the synth, how do you chop your tracks? Do you have something that like it's always something that you plan and then you play with loops on that bass, or every track is different, or?
I can show you that if you want. You can open record books. So I have I save hot cues beforehand, right?
Yeah.
Let me relocate this. I have no idea what this is though. Guitarra. So I save hot cues beforehand, right? I do this. I listen to the track and like I actually find cool bits I like of the track, and then I save this. I save this, right? Different. These are loops, and I have a color system, you know, because I record box so many tracks in my life. I'm not gonna remember what is what. So I guess colors can help you guide you through, you know, say like yellow is drum parts and like orange is like synths and, you know, stuff like that. Then I do that on every track, or I try to do that on every track. Some tracks, especially the tracks that like are problematic. Some tracks I love, but like there's a part I don't like, or and also it's cool to have like it's kind of cool to have like a button that you can press that will take you to the drum part of the track, you know. Sometimes it's like, okay, let's go here. Or sometimes it's like, you want the track to start with the synth line and not the way it starts, you know?
Those notes, do you do these notes, the track, what's called Templo, on your collection? Did you do the note yourself, like this part, 4x4, 83?
Yes.
So what does it mean for you? You just like the track, what? The track goes in 4x4 rhythm but changes, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I do that. Yeah. I always try to write stuff on the comments too, you know?
Yeah.
Descriptors, or if it's triplet, or if it's 4x4, or if it's... That's another cool thing about like the 3000 is that you can actually search. I mean, you will, if you write a word that you've written in the comments in record books, it will show up in the 3000. So it's kind of cool, yeah, to have like. Yeah. I mean, you could do that on playlists, but then I guess it's easier, you know. You could write like nostalgic on many tracks, and then you would search for nostalgic tracks. I guess that.
Sad Frog.
Yeah, Sad Frogs.
So you also spend a lot of time in record box then?
I mean, yeah. I mean, the hot cues thing, I'm kind of tired of doing that though, honestly. But then it's not, when you're playing, it's not that fun, you know? If you don't have hot cues. because you can't like actually, you need to like, I don't know, there's so many styles, different styles of playing.
Yeah, it's faster with hot cues and make it like interesting and much easier to just skip to a part of the track that you want to do.
Yeah. I'm actually trying to be a real like normal DJ nowadays. Just like spend a lot of time like digging, find cool tracks, and then just put one track after the other. That's what people do.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
not that easy for me either, you know.
Yeah.
Just like
But then because
fingers and
then because I'm anxious, I like to have like things I can press.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, me too.
this doesn't work. Okay, change it. Like do this. You know.
Yeah.
Maybe you could get like a dummy button that does nothing,
Yeah.
and you can just like press.
Fidget spinner.
Have it in your rider.
The unplugged.
Yeah, have it in your rider. One CDJ unplugged.
Yeah. And then with my tracks for the live set, I do this compulsively. I have like 8 hot cues of every track probably.
Do you take layers or parts on like looping your tracks? For instance, like I don't know, taking only the drum part, or you always like take that part of the song, like the whole structure of it. So
mostly I just find 2 tracks that might go well together and then try to rearrange it. What I'm trying to do more for the live set is the complete opposite. Like, I think the live set is the place where I can actually go full on hot cue mode, right? And then with DJing, I'm trying to be more normal. But what I've been trying lately is to actually, by combining the cue button with the hot cues with other like parameters in the CDJs, like rearrange the tracks, 2 different tracks to make a new track out of 2 different tracks doing different patterns with my hands. That's what I've been trying. I have a video of that here. I mean,
did you talk about the DJing part?
I'm talking about the live set.
Okay.
Yeah, because you were asking.
Yeah. But because you mentioned DJ, but I wasn't sure. But
Yes.
Okay, about your track. Okay.
Cool. I guess that's what I do the most. You know, I also, as I said, I might like rebounce a track with just the drum part, or rebounce a track with just the synth part, and then put that in a different moment of the track. And most of the tracks of my live set are unreleased stuff, so it's on demo stages too, so I need to do something while the track is playing for it not to be dull, you know? Being anxious again, but I guess that's the, I mean, that's what makes it live in the end, you know?
So your advice is to be anxious.
No. No. Just, I mean, it's fun to be anxious when you invented yourself a system that you are actually doing something, you know? You could also have like the turned off CDJ or turned on, but like yeah, what else?
Can I return you once again to the production part?
Yes, of course.
I'm interested to know, is there kind of like I don't want to say like a storytelling part to it, but I guess you have to conceptualize like the dynamics of the track, how you started, where's like how it's peaking, or like when you put in the drum loop or whatever. So I'm guessing there is some kind of like is it like emotional approach to it, to the sounds? Because obviously you can just like create, at this point I think you can like create any sound you want. but I guess you have to put some limits to this like insane like Ableton, VST plugins and stuff. You can just do whatever you want to do. So is there like a storytelling prison that you put yourself into? Is it like an ethnological approach that you use? Is it like more emotional?
Yeah. So rhythm-wise, I think my music is completely attached to culture, South American especially, you know? And that's where the politics come in, I guess, because it's conscious, because I'm trying to show the world, at least the first world, where the money is, and where I'm in now, that there's different ways to conceive rhythm, and that I am so fucking tired of like the boom pa, and I can't believe how anyone is like saying, is there something else to this, you know? So I'm trying to show that, you know, there's different ways to conceive rhythm, especially in South America, because that's what I know and that's what I'm interested in. But then with the sound world, because you know, you have your rhythm and then you have your sound, right? And then with the sound world, I guess it's more connected to sound through viscerality, you know, through the oniric side of you know. I let myself go with sound way more than with rhythm. I guess rhythm is connected to a language, at least to me, and sound is connected to like surrealistic ideas, I guess. You know, I try to let myself go in that sense, so I can have like both extremes, you know, together. There's no narrative. It's only, I guess it's more like intuitive. I'm trying to go with some flow, where the sounds take you, you know, what the sounds advise you, or
If I may,
I guess that, I mean, I listen to the record and I honestly feel this something that it tells you, and maybe it's because of the insane amount of time I spent on the movie world, but it's not conscious at all. Even if I tried, you know, I mean, the only conceptual part I can come up with, I guess, is, you know, there's this track in the album called Agua de Vidrio, which means glass water, so I did some process to the water sounds that like turn them into glass. So I imagined this moving sound world where it was more abstract, you know, materials, just like water and glass, and then build like an imaginary sound world out of that idea. I mean, that's as far as I can go in terms of concept.
with regards to the thing that you said, that with respect to rhythm, you are defined by your culture, but with respect to sound, you don't try to limit yourself. You use the word oniric. I kind of know what that means, but I can't remember. It's something like dreaming.
Yeah.
With respect to that, like I wanted to ask if you could show us the specific like lead element from Boto Harpo, because I think it fits well with what you're saying.
Well,
it sounds very surreal. It sounds very detached from reality.
I hate to talk about this because it's like one of my favorite sounds from the album, but it's not a sound I recorded. It's not. It's a harp sample. It's just a harp, like harp.
Harp.
My whole world is crumbling now. I'm alive. Fake ass DJs.
The sea lion that time recording was a fake.
Call pitchfork. You got me, man. You got me.
I thought it was gonna gonna be some chicken or something.
Yeah, I mean, I only kept it because it sounded similar to the rest of the album sounds, you know? So I felt it was mine, but then it's not.
I don't know, like.
Let's go home. I'm done here.
Personally, I feel like if it works, it works. It doesn't necessarily have to be your stuff. It doesn't necessarily have to be so personal.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
it's like, it's the only sound that it's, apart from a couple of like sine waves and like a couple of 808 samples, it's the only sounds that like, are not don't come from here. But then again, it sounds like animally. I don't know. It has this quality. And I also, what I did with that sound is just I worked it and then I violently like changed the automation lane, the transposition lane, and I played with the working modes, and that was it. That was, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you really did more than we could hope for with this. You know,
Yeah,
you really
thank
told
you
us
very
a lot.
much.
Thank you for that.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
very
you're hired
insightful
in
in
many
many
ways,
ways.
so we really appreciate it. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really cool.
Thank you.
thanks.
It's really rare that we can see so detailed process of something. So it's, yeah.
That's cool. Like I don't mind showing it because I know it's so specific, and I'm way into deep that like I don't know. I don't mind showing it. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like in order for someone to steal, you gotta be first of all you gotta be interested in like recording sound, right? And then you gotta spend the insane amount of time I spend doing this. So I'm not scared about like sharing this because it comes out of like love and I'm already doing this. It's like.
But if like somebody steals the whole process, he will end up,
It won't-
or she with something totally different.
That's a cool thing, you know.
Yeah.
And that's
Not replicate.
yeah, that's one thing I learned also lately. When you see people like sharing their process and stuff like that, that you can. That's the thing. There's no way to imitate someone fully, you know,
Yeah.
because we're all different.
Well, I'm buying my ticket to Uruguay to record songs.
Exactly.
You would know that. Who would go to Uruguay?
Creation got eaten by sea lions.
No, let's go to the zoo tomorrow.
Because he went during daytime.
Maybe start with Sleva first.
Croatians with frog repression.
Did you see any frogs today?
No, I didn't.
No.
No, there is not.
Maybe because we went really high.
Yeah.
I don't know if frogs are go that
Not
high.
really. Yeah, they're like lower.
Yeah.
They don't
Crazy.
They can jump that high.
Yeah.
Bilo tak strašno.
I got some recordings of today.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just banging on wood, and it's not like I'm super. It sounds like shit though. I mean, it needs some work.
How did you get that trill? How did you get that trill, like the fast?
Like with the stick, like just losing the stick, you know?
What we're hearing now is going to turn up on time dance.
Probably. I mean, that's why I want to go back tomorrow, because the place looks amazing, but I didn't have enough time to find something that sounds good, you know? I just played on stuff I found, but like, it didn't sound great. I mean, there's so much you can do with that. But then, okay, can I show you the ones I do like? There's ones where they're here. What I do know is the press pick. That's what I know about this record. I don't have the tracks, but I'm gonna dress as Log Lady. Have you seen?
Yeah.
Have you seen?
Yeah.
It's gonna be called Logs or something. I'm gonna be dressed as Log Lady. That makes sense. Yes, exactly. That's what. And then, I mean that's the thing. Like today, I understood how special it was. The things I found in either in that island or in Puerto Rico, which is this one. So these are logs that like big logs that are fallen or dry, so they have way more resonance. So it kind of sounds like a kick drum. And that's why I don't call myself a drummer. That's what I was saying. Because like I can't do that like for a whole minute. You know, straight and not fuck up.
Yeah.
I can come up with this, like looping and choosing cool parts, you know. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way this demo sounds. I mean, at least the drum parts. I need to add more stuff, but like the drums are kind of there. The intention, like the groove, you know, is there. So. Doesn't sound like this. But then with some mixing, if you like bring the bass up or add some bass and then like add some distortion, grit, you know, dirtiness, you might get, you know, more cool sounding loop. Well,
We're all tired.
yes.
Maybe we should go,
Yeah, thanks. That was
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Of
Thank
course,
you very much.
pleasure.
Let's go home and make an album.